Captain Lee Hanna stared at the massive viewing screen on the bridge of the UES Prometheus. Her hands gripped the metal railing, so tight her knuckles turned white. In front of them, a huge colony ship was spinning slowly in space. Smoke poured from dozens of holes in its silver hull. The ship belonged to the Kithrin people, peaceful traders who had never hurt anyone. "Captain, I'm getting emergency signals from that ship," said Lieutenant Park Jinu from his control station. His young face looked worried. "They're saying they have 50,000 people on board. Families, children, old people." Hannah felt sick to her stomach. Around the damaged colony ship, 6 black warships circled like hungry wolves. She knew those ships. They belonged to the Hegemony, a group of alien races that took what they wanted and killed anyone who got in their way. How long until the colony ship loses all power? Hannah asked. "Maybe 10 minutes, Captain," answered Chief Engineer Omincio from the back of the bridge. "After that, everyone inside will run out of air." Lieutenant Park Jinu turned in his chair. "Captain, we could destroy those Hegemony ships in 5 minutes. Our weapons are ready. We could save all those people." Hannah closed her eyes for a moment. She wanted nothing more than to give that order. But she knew the rules. For 200 years, humans had followed the Galactic Council's laws. They were not allowed to fight unless the Council said it was okay. The Council called humans Deathworlders because they came from Earth, a planet so dangerous that most aliens could not even visit it. The Council leaders thought humans were too violent, too quick to fight. "Send a message to Council Command," Hannah said quietly. "Request permission to help the colony ship." The communication officer, Sergeant Kong Suho, worked fast. His fingers flew across the controls. After 3 long minutes, a cold voice came through the speakers. It was an Altarian, one of the ruling species of the Council. "Request denied, human vessel. You are not permitted to engage in combat in neutral space. Return to your patrol. Route immediately." "But, sir," Hannah said, trying to keep her voice calm, "there are 50,000 innocent people about to die. We can save them. The Council has spoken. Human forces are too aggressive for delicate operations. You will withdraw now." Lieutenant Park Jinu stood up from his station. His face was red with anger. "Captain, we can't just watch this happen." Hannah looked around the bridge. Every member of her crew was staring at her. These were good people. They had joined the human space fleet to protect others, to explore the galaxy, to make a safer place. Now they had to watch innocent families die because some aliens in fancy offices said humans were too dangerous to help. On the main screen, small shapes began floating away from the colony ship. Escape pods. Hannah counted them. 1, 2, 5, 12. Not nearly enough for 50,000 people. Most of the escape systems must have been damaged in the attack. "Captain," Chief Engineer Omincio called out, "the Hegemony ships are targeting the escape pods." Hannah watched in horror as bright red beams shot out from the black warships. One by one, the small escape pods exploded into balls of fire. She could hear screaming over the emergency channels. Children crying for their parents. Parents calling out names that would never be answered. "Captain, please." Lieutenant Park Jinu begged. "Let us fight." Hannah's hands shook. Every part of her wanted to give the order. One word from her, and those Hegemony ships would be space dust. Her crew was ready. Their weapons could cut through enemy shields like paper. But the rules were clear. Humans had agreed to follow Council commands. Breaking that agreement could mean war with the entire galaxy. The screaming stopped. The colony ship went dark. The Hegemony warships turned away, looking for their next target. "All stop," Hannah whispered. "Stand down from battle stations." That night, Captain Lee Hannah sat alone in her small cabin. She had written the report for Council Command. Observed destruction of Kithrin colony vessel. No action taken per Council orders. Just words on a screen. 50,000 lives reduced to a single sentence. She thought about her daughter back on Earth. Little Yuna, only 8 years old, who always asked why her mommy had to go to space. To protect people, sweetheart, Hannah always said, to keep the galaxy safe. What would she tell Yuna now? That mommy watched good people die, because some aliens said humans were too mean to help? Hannah walked to her small window and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the hegemony ships were moving toward their next target. More innocent people would die, and humans would file more reports and follow more rules while the galaxy burned around them. She made a promise that night, speaking to the empty darkness of space. This will never happen again. Never. Captain Lee Hannah did not know it yet, but her words would change everything. The galaxy was about to learn what happened when you push Deathworlders too far. Admiral Kim Tae-ho sat in his office on Luna Station, staring at a pile of reports that made him feel sick. Each paper told the same story. Human ships forced to watch while innocent people died. The council always had the same answer. Humans are too dangerous. Humans cannot be trusted. Humans must follow orders. His aide, Commander Yumiho, walked into the room carrying another stack of papers. The young man looked tired. Dark circles under his eyes showed he had not slept well for days. More reports, Admiral, Miho said, setting the papers on the desk. The attack on the Valoran trade station. 12,000 dead. Captain Song Yunji requested permission to help. The council said no. Tae-ho picked up the report and read it. The same cold words. Human vessel ordered to withdraw. Non-interference protocols in effect. He threw the paper down hard. How many is that now? Tae-ho asked. 17 incidents in 6 months, sir. Each time, we asked for permission to help. Each time, they said no. Tae-ho stood up and walked to the big window that looked out at Earth. His home planet looked peaceful from here. Blue oceans, white clouds, green land. But he knew the truth. Earth was a death world. Storms that could destroy cities. Animals that could kill with one bite. Diseases that could wipe out entire populations. Yet somehow, humans had survived. They had grown strong. Commander, Tae-ho said without turning around, what was the latest news from the Zephyrian system? Miho's voice became very quiet. The home world fell yesterday, Admiral. 3 billion Zephyrians are dead. The hegemony killed them all. Tae-ho felt his heart stop. The Zephyrians were gentle people. They looked like tall, thin humans with silver skin and kind eyes. When humans first left Earth centuries ago, the Zephyrians had been the first aliens to welcome them. They had shared food, medicine, and friendship when other races had been afraid of the dangerous humans from the death world. Did we ask for permission to help them? Tae-ho asked, though he already knew the answer. Captain Lee Hannah requested immediate assistance. She was only 3 hours away with a full battle group. The council denied permission. They said the Zephyrian homeworld was inside hegemony space, so it was an internal matter. Tae-ho turned around fast. His face was red with anger. Internal matter? 3 billion people murdered, and they call it an internal matter? Yes, sir. Chancellor Vorthak himself gave the order. He said humans lack the wisdom for such delicate situations. He said we only know how to destroy things. For 200 years, Tae-ho had followed orders. He had been a good soldier, a loyal officer. He had believed that working with the Galactic Council was the right thing to do. Humans were new to space. They needed to learn how to get along with other races. But 17 times now, he had watched his captains beg for permission to save innocent lives. 17 times, alien leaders had said no, and now the Zephyrians were gone. The same people who had welcomed humans with open arms were dead, while human warships sat nearby, forbidden to help. Send a message to all colony worlds, Tae-ho said. I want every human leader to come to Luna Station. Emergency Defense Council meeting. Sir, that will take days to use the emergency channels. Tell them it cannot wait. 3 days later, the great meeting hall on Luna Station was full. Representatives from Mars, Europa, Titan, and dozens of colony worlds sat in the circular room. Military officers, civilian leaders, elected officials. All of them had the same look in their eyes. Anger mixed with sadness. Admiral Kim Tae-ho stood in the center of the room. He did not use notes. The words came from his heart. My friends, he began. For 200 years, we have tried to be good members of the Galactic Council. We have limited our weapons. We have followed their rules. We have let them tell us when we can fight. and when we cannot. He paused and looked around the room. Every face was watching him. We did this because we believed it was right. We wanted to show the galaxy that humans could be civilized, that we were more than just violent apes from a death world. Counselor Park Soyoung from Mars stood up. "Admiral, what are you saying?" "I am saying we were wrong," Tejo replied. "We thought being civilized meant following their rules. But what good are rules that let monsters kill innocent people while we watch?" He activated the main screen. Images appeared of burning worlds, destroyed ships, dead families. The hegemony's victims over the past 6 months. The Kitherans, the Valorans, the Zephyrians, all dead while human fleets sat nearby, forbidden to help. How many more will die before we admit the truth? "What truth?" asked Governor Lee Jin-woo from Europa. Admiral Kim Tae-ho looked each person in the eyes before he spoke. "The truth is that sometimes being civilized means being willing to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. The truth is that our restraint has not made us noble. It has made us cowards." The room was silent. "I call for a vote," Tae-ho said. "All in favor of withdrawing from Council military treaties?" Every hand went up. The galaxy was about to change forever. The hegemony battle group called Crimson Fist dropped out of hyperspace near the planet Kellier Prime. General Vextar looked at his tactical display with satisfaction. 23 ships under his command, more than enough to destroy the small farming colony below. "Begin orbital bombardment," he ordered. "Kill them all." "Sir," his communication officer called out, "there is a human ship in the system." Vextar laughed. Humans were weak. For 200 years, they had followed council rules like scared children. One ship? Ignore it. Humans are not allowed to fight us. On the main screen, a sleek silver vessel appeared. The name UES Prometheus was painted on its side in blue letters. It was the same ship that had been forced to watch the Kitharan massacre months ago. "Human vessel, Vextar broadcast. You will withdraw immediately. Your council masters have forbidden you to interfere. Run away like you always do." Captain Lee Hanna sat in her command chair, calm and steady. Her crew looked at her, waiting for orders. Lieutenant Park Jinu at weapons control had his finger hovering over the firing button. "General Vextar," Hanna replied. "This is Captain Lee Hanna of the UES Prometheus. We are no longer bound by council restrictions." Vextar frowned. "What does that mean, human?" "It means," Hanna said softly, "we have stopped playing fair." She turned to her weapons officer. "Fire everything." Lieutenant Park Jinu smiled for the first time in months. "Yes, Captain." The Prometheus had been rebuilt in secret over the past weeks. Gone were the weak plasma weapons the Council had allowed humans to carry. In their place were railguns that could fire metal projectiles at 12% of light speed. The Council had banned these weapons as too destructive years ago. The first railgun round hit Vextar's flagship before he even knew what was happening. The metal slug, moving faster than most ships could travel, punched through the hegemony vessel's shields like they were made of paper. The entire ship exploded in a ball of white fire. "What was that?" screamed the captain of another hegemony ship. "What kind of weapon?" He never finished the sentence. The second railgun round turned his ship into scrap metal. All ships attacked a human. Vextar, second in command, ordered from another vessel. "Kill them now." 21 hegemony ships turned their weapons on the single human vessel. Hundreds of energy beams and missiles flew through space. The Prometheus should have been destroyed instantly. Instead, it seemed to dance between the attacks. Chief Engineer Omincio had installed new movement systems that could push the ship in directions that made no sense to alien minds. Humans had learned to move like this by flying through Earth's terrible storms and asteroid fields. "How are they doing that?" one hegemony captain shouted over the radio. The Prometheus fired again, and again. Each shot destroyed a hegemony ship completely. The alien vessels were built for fighting other aliens who followed the Council's rules. They had strong frontal armor, but weak sides and backs. Their shields were designed to stop plasma weapons, not solid metal moving at incredible speeds. In 8 minutes, it was over. 23 hegemony ships had become floating debris. The Prometheus had not received even a scratch. Captain Lee Hanna opened a channel to the planet below. Kellier Prime, this is the UES Prometheus. You are safe. The threat has been eliminated. Across the galaxy, similar battles were happening. Human ships that had been restricted to patrol duties for decades suddenly appeared at worlds under hegemony attack. They moved like ghosts, using stealth technology the Council had forbidden them to develop. They fought with weapons the Council had banned. Most importantly, they worked together in ways that made alien military leaders confused. Captain Song Yunji and her battle group surrounded a hegemony fleet at the Nexar system. Instead of attacking head-on like aliens expected, the human ships split up. They attacked from 6 different directions at exactly the same time. The hegemony ships, used to fighting one enemy at a time, could not handle the coordinated assault. Commander Bei Ji-young led a boarding party onto a hegemony command ship. Her Marines wore powered armor that let them move faster and hit harder than any alien soldier. They captured the ship's bridge in 12 minutes, taking the enemy admiral prisoner without killing a single crew member who surrendered. The hegemony had built their empire by fighting aliens who follow rules, aliens who attacked from the front, aliens who gave warnings before shooting, aliens who tried to minimize casualties. Humans did not follow those rules anymore. They attacked from above and below and from all sides at once. They appeared out of nowhere and vanished like smoke. They hit military targets with surgical precision while leaving civilian areas completely untouched. Most terrifying of all, they seemed to know what the hegemony would do before the hegemony commanders knew it themselves. In just 8 days, the hegemony lost more ships than they had in the previous 50 years of conquest. 47 worlds that had been under alien control were suddenly free. Human fleets had appeared at each one simultaneously, as if they had planned everything perfectly. Admiral Kim Tae-ho watched the reports come in from his command center on Luna Station. His aide, Commander Yumiho, looked amazed. "Sir, how are we winning so easily?" Miho asked. Tae-ho smiled grimly. "Because we have been holding back for 200 years. The galaxy forgot that humans became the top species on a death world for a reason. We are very good at war when we stop pretending otherwise." Chancellor Vorthak of the Altarian Empire stood in the Great Council chamber, his 4 arms shaking with fear. Around him, representatives from dozens of alien species whispered nervously. For the first time in centuries, the mighty Galactic Council looked scared. "We must contact the humans immediately," Vorthak said, his voice high and worried. "The hegemony is collapsing. In just 2 weeks, they have lost half their fleet." Ambassador Zelnara from the Sethari Union raised one of her tentacles. "How is this possible? The humans have only a few dozen ships. The hegemony has thousands." "Had thousands," corrected General Mordek of the Vaxian military. "My intelligence reports say the humans are destroying entire battle groups without losing a single vessel. They fight like nothing we have ever seen." Vorthak's skin changed from blue to pale gray, a sign of extreme stress in his species. Just 3 weeks ago, he had been the one telling humans they were too violent, too stupid to handle delicate military operations. Now those same humans were tearing apart the galaxy's strongest military force like it was made of paper. "Open a channel to Admiral Kim Tae-ho," Vorthak ordered. "We need to negotiate before this gets worse." The main screen flickered to life. Admiral Tae-ho appeared, sitting calmly in his command center on Luna Station. Behind him, dozens of human officers worked at control stations, coordinating attacks across the galaxy. "Chancellor Vorthak," Tae-ho said politely, "how can I help you?" "Admiral, please," Vorthak begged. "You must stop this attack. The hegemony is willing to discuss peace terms. We can arrange a ceasefire." "No," Tae-ho said simply. The word hit the council chamber like a physical blow. For centuries, no one had ever said no to the Galactic Council. They were the ultimate authority in the galaxy. Kings and emperors bowed to their decisions. "You cannot refuse," Vorthak sputtered. "The council demands." "The council has no authority over humanity anymore," Tae-ho interrupted. "We withdrew from all your treaties, remember? You are welcome to make demands, but we are not required to listen." General Mordek leaned forward. Admiral, your forces are impressive, but you cannot fight the entire galaxy. If the Council unites against you... Tejo smiled coldly. General, exactly which species are you planning to send against us? The ones whose fleets we just saved from hegemony attacks? The ones whose civilians we protected while you debated in committee meetings? The general's mouth snapped shut. It was true. In the past 2 weeks, human forces had liberated 17 different species from hegemony control. Those aliens were not likely to attack the humans who had freed them. What do you want? Vorthak asked desperately. Admiral Tejo stood up. When he spoke, his words were broadcast not just to the Council, but to every planet, every space station, every ship in the galaxy. You told us we were unsophisticated, he began. You said we knew only destruction. You called us dangerous animals who could not be trusted with real weapons or real military operations. Images began appearing on screens throughout the galaxy. Human fleets moving in perfect coordination. Surgical strikes that destroyed military targets while leaving hospitals and schools untouched. Rescue operations that saved thousands of alien civilians. You were half right. Tejo continued. We are destruction, but we are precise destruction. We are the storm that knows exactly where to strike. As he spoke, 17 different locations across hegemony space exploded simultaneously. Military shipyards, weapons factories, command centers. Each explosion was perfectly timed, perfectly placed. Not a single civilian building was damaged. The alien leaders in the council chamber watched in amazed silence. The level of coordination required for such an operation was beyond anything they had ever seen. Most alien militaries needed months to plan attacks on single targets. The humans had just hit 17 targets at the exact same moment, across thousands of light years. How? Whispered Ambassador Zelnara. How do they communicate so quickly? How do they plan so perfectly? General Mordek checked his tactical display. Our intelligence was wrong. The humans do not have a few dozen ships. They have hundreds, maybe thousands. They were hiding their real fleet strength for decades. On the screen, Admiral Tejo was still speaking. For 200 years, we limited ourselves to make you comfortable. We used weak weapons so you would not fear us. We moved slowly so you would not worry. We asked permission so you would feel in control. He paused, letting his words sink in. But when those limitations meant watching innocent people die while bureaucrats debated, we remembered something important. Sometimes the most civilized thing you can do is unleash hell on those who prey on the helpless. More explosions lit up hegemony space. Entire fleets vanished in balls of fire. Command stations that had controlled enslaved worlds for decades went dark forever. Chancellor Vorthak felt his legs give out. He collapsed into his chair, staring at the tactical displays that showed hegemony territory shrinking by the hour. What have we done? He whispered. Admiral Tejo heard him. You taught us to be civilized, Chancellor. What you never understood is that we were already civilized. We simply chose to respect your rules. The transmission ended, leaving the council chamber in shocked silence. Outside, across the galaxy, the hegemony's empire was dying, and everyone knew that the humans were just getting started. 5 years after the day humans stopped playing fair, Admiral Lee Hanna stood in the Memorial Garden on New Geneva Station. The black stone wall stretched for 50 meters, covered with names written in silver letters. 50,000 names. Every Kithran civilian who had died while her ship was forced to watch. The garden was quiet except for the soft sound of artificial rain. Hannah came here every year on the anniversary, just as she had promised herself long ago. Admiral, a voice called behind her. She turned to see Captain C.O. Jaiwan approaching. Jaiwan had been her tactical officer on the Prometheus during those terrible early days. Now she commanded her own ship in the Free Species Protection Compact. The ceremony is ready to begin, Jaiwan said softly. Representatives from 43 different worlds are here. They want to thank humanity for what we did. Hannah nodded, but did not move away from the memorial wall. Do you know what they call us now, Jaiwan? I have heard several names, Admiral. The Gentle Storm, Hannah said. They say we are the only force in the galaxy that can unleash hell while keeping heaven safe. It was true. After the hegemony surrendered 3 months into the war, humans had done something that shocked every alien species. Instead of taking over hegemony territory, they had given every conquered world back to its original people. Billions of aliens who had lived as slaves were suddenly free. But the humans had not stopped there. Admiral Kimtail had created the Free Species Protection Compact, a new kind of alliance. Any world that wanted protection could join. Unlike the old Galactic Council, the Compact did not demand tribute or force members to follow alien rules. They just had to agree not to attack other peaceful species. 47 worlds had joined in the first year. Now, 5 years later, over 200 species belonged to the Compact. They all knew that if someone attacked them, human fleets would arrive within days to help. Admiral Jywin said, "There's something else. Chancellor Vorthak wants to speak with you." Hannah sighed. The old Altarian leader had lost most of his power when the council collapsed. His empire now controlled only a few dozen worlds instead of the hundreds it had once ruled. What does he want? He wants to join the Compact. His people are being attacked by pirate fleets. He is asking for human protection. Hannah almost laughed. The same alien who had called humans too violent to save innocent lives now wanted those same humans to save his people. They walked together to the main conference room. Chancellor Vorthak sat at the long table, looking much older than 5 years ago. His blue skin was pale. His 4 arms moved nervously. "Admiral Lee Hannah," he said when she entered. "Thank you for seeing me." Hannah sat down across from him. "What can I do for you, Chancellor?" "My worlds are under attack," Vorthak said quietly. "Pirate fleets from the Outer Rim. They are killing my people, taking our resources. The old council military is gone. We have no way to defend ourselves." "And you want human help?" Hannah said. "Yes." The word came out like a painful whisper. "I know I have no right to ask. I know what I said about humans years ago was wrong. But my people are dying." Hannah studied the alien leader who had once dismissed her species as too dangerous to trust. "Do you remember the Kithrin colony ship?" Vorthak's skin turned even paler. "Yes. You told me humans were too aggressive for delicate operations. You said we only knew destruction. 50,000 civilians died while you debated whether we were civilized enough to save them." "I remember," Vorthak said, his voice barely audible. Hannah stood up and walked to the window. Outside, ships from dozens of different species moved through space together. Former enemies working side by side. Species that had been enslaved by the hegemony now flew their own vessels again. "The Compact will protect your worlds," she said finally. Vorthak looked up in surprise. "You will help us? Even after what I did?" "That is what civilization means, Chancellor. Protecting those who cannot protect themselves, even when they have wronged you." She turned back to face him. "But you will follow Compact rules. No attacking peaceful species. No enslaving other worlds. If you break these rules, we will stop protecting you." "I understand," Vorthak said. "Thank you, Admiral. You are more merciful than I deserve." After the meeting, Hannah returned to the memorial garden. She placed her hand on the black stone wall and read the inscription one more time. "We were too late for you. We swore never to be too late again." Captain C.O. Jywin joined her. "Do you think we did the right thing, Admiral? Helping Vorthak after everything he put us through?" Hannah smiled sadly. "My daughter asked me once why I had to go to space. I told her it was to protect people and keep the galaxy safe. That is still true." She looked up at the stars visible through the station's transparent dome. Somewhere out there, human patrol ships were watching over hundreds of worlds. Pirates thought twice before attacking Compact members. Slave traders looked for easier targets. Bullies learned to pick on someone else. "The galaxy is not perfect," Hannah said, "but it is better than it was. Children sleep safely on worlds that used to live in fear. That is worth everything we went through. The gentle storm had brought peace to the stars. And everyone remembered the day Deathworlders stopped playing fair."